Hello and welcome to time series forecasting. In this video I'm going to talk about nonlinear regressions, and in particular I'm going to talk about four models. The first is the linear model that we talked about so far, and then we're going to talk about exponential, piecewise and cubic regression. Here is an example of a nonlinear regression. This example shows winning times in minutes for the Boston Marathon men's open division. And as we can see, there is clearly a negative downward trend. It seems like the trend is not linear. The very first model that we can fit in here is we can completely ignore this non-linearity and simply fit a linear line. This way we are completely going to ignore this non-linearity in the model and treat this model as linear. So this is the first way that we can fit our model. The second way that we talked about was that we can try to take the log transformation of the model and see if we can somehow approximate this non-linear model to a linear model. So this could be a second way of dealing with this issue. Now the problem with log transformation is that the log of any variable at 0 is undefined, and similarly you cannot take log of a negative number. Hence, we probably need some other strategies to deal with this non-linearity, and thus we're gonna try a piecewise regression and a cubic spline to fit this non-linear model. So for the piecewise regression, what we can assume is that there is a linear trend at a particular point. We see a linear trend until, for example, 1940. And then there is also a kind of a linear trend in this part of the series, for example, until 1980. And then we see there is a linear trend after 1980 as well. So we call these points as knots. So we're going to introduce knots at these points, and we are going to assume that the model is linear except at these knots. So this way we can fit a piecewise linear model on this data set. So the way to do that is, for example, for the first knot at 1940, we are going to introduce a variable tb1 which will take value of 0 in this range before 1940, and after that tb1 will take on value of 1, 2 and so forth in this part of the series. Similarly, we are going to introduce another knot here. Let's call it tb2, and the value of this knot will be 0 in this range before 1980, and after 1980 the value of tb2 will be 1, 2, 3 up till our end data point. So we're going to introduce these two new variables, tb1 and tb2, and these two variables will introduce knots and take on values of 0 before the knot and 1, 2, 3 and so on after the knot. And then we are going to introduce these knots in our regression model and fit the model as a linear model. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to fit these models in R. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.